Good afternoon to you. Sava from Sava Talks Football. Hope all is well. First of all, let me apologise. There was no Spurs review last night. Unfortunately, I was in the hospital, not been feeling too great. So apologies. The show was due to go ahead, but couldn't at the last minute. So I do apologise. We will be back next week. So today, for my daily thought, I wanted to talk about the the imaginary Tottenham Hotspur transfer strategy, the imaginary plan that I keep being told that we've got in place with Paratici and Conte. And what I mean by this is I just feel for years and years now I've been told that patience, be patient, things are changing, things are moving. When Jose came in, it was that we wouldn't take any kind of BS from the owners and he'd sort it out. He went. Then we got Nuno in, which showed that we didn't really have another plan. He came and he went. The signings were still poor. We've got Conte in. I was told he won't take any BS from the owners, but he clearly has. Mixed messages we're getting from Conte as to which players he wanted, which ones he didn't. Does he want to play young players? Does he not? And more than that, more than anything, I think for me, and I'd love to get everybody's view on this. What is the transfer plan? What is the transfer strategy? Can anyone look at the signings we've made and say that you can see a clear path as to where we are going? Can anyone do that? Because I'm really struggling to see what the plan is. If you look at the signings we've made since Conte's been here, yeah, Kulu and Bentancur, good signings. Again, it's felt like, not taking anything away, they've done brilliantly, but it felt, again, that was very much last day panic or last 48 hours of the January window panic to get them over the line. Players that Paratici knew. So I don't understand if he knew them and if they were our targets, why it took until the last 48 hours of the window. You then look at the summer and it was a Spence, who we'll come back to in a minute, who clearly he didn't want. Longley on loan. Clearly, he wouldn't have wanted Longley on loan. He would have wanted a centre half to come in that was ready to go straight into that team and be there for a few years. You then look at Doji, another young player. Well, that goes right against everything that's being said, and we'll talk about what Fabrizio Romano said in just a minute. You've then got Richarlison, who is very much a bit part striker. Let's be really, really honest. We were told he could play across the front line. Now, apparently, he's not doing well because he can only play through the middle. So, was he wanted? Is he the replacement for Kane? So, all those questions that we discussed last week. You then look at Basuma, who, clearly isn't one of his top two central midfielders. When all is said and done, Bentancur and Højbjerg will start every game. And Basuma's only started a few games when he's moved to a three in the middle. Am I missing anybody out? I mean, Fraser Forster, okay, that was a sub goalkeeper, got no issues with that. But when you look at that, you look at the two young wing backs, the defender on loan, the kind of sub striker. What's the plan? What's the strategy? Is it buying old? Is it buying young? What's the strategy? And that's something I'm really confused about at this football club, and I don't see it changing. If I'm brutally honest, I don't see it changing in any way, shape, or form under this manager, and certainly this director of football. So is it Levy? Has Levy still got his claws in? What's not changing? So let's look at what Fabrizio Romano has come out and said today. Fabrizio Romano has written this whole big piece about, the reason Jed Spence isn't playing for Tottenham Hotspur. And the reason Jed Spence isn't playing for Tottenham Hotspur is that apparently Antonio Conte wants experienced players. He doesn't want young players in the team. Okay, so let's break that down. First and foremost, I call BS on that because he starts Ryan Sessegnon a lot, who's the same age as Jed Spence. Emerson Royal is 1 year older than Jed Spence and is absolutely woeful as a footballer. So you're not telling me the experience level of of Emerson Royal and his ability is better than trying to play Jed Spence. I'm not going to buy that at all. So I'm just a little bit confused as to, people have come out and gone, oh, there you go. Look, Conte's explained it now. And Fabrizio Romano's explained it. That's why he's not playing Jed Spence. All is fair. But it doesn't make sense when you break it down. It's not consistent. We've talked about Sessegnon there and Spence and Royal. But then you look at Udogie. Now, Udogie's a very good player. But again, Udogie's 19 years of age, very inexperienced. So if we're talking about Conte only wants experienced players, then why are we buying Spence? Why are we buying Udogie? Why are we linked today to the young Polish defender? Another one, 22 years of age, has just moved to Spezia from Poland. Why are we linked with these players if Conte indeed wants experience? So what's the plan? What are we trying to do here? If Conte does only want experience, then great. But then obviously that tells you that he's here just for Antonio Conte, not for the good of Tottenham Hotspur, which is fair enough. We understand that. But for me, I can't see any plan. The only plan I've seen for the last 6-7 years, and I've said this openly quite a lot, the only plan I've seen is Kane and Son. That's the plan. There's been no real transfer plan other than that, has there? You know, we had that team that we built under Pochettino. And since then, has there been a plan? Has there been an ethos of style of play? Has there been an ethos in terms of signings that we make? Strategy, young, old, quick, fast, slow, skillful, defensive. It just feels like it's constantly a mishmash of players. Now, it's silly season, right? We're coming up to the transfer window opening in just over a month's time. And as I said, it's silly season, and Spurs will be linked with hundreds and hundreds of players. All of these so-called in the knows will come out with, oh, we want him, we want him, we want him. We're Paratici's a big fan. We're interested. We're monitoring. We're keeping tabs on. We've inquired. All of these buzzwords, but I just feel like more than ever, what are we doing? You know, there's talks now that Spence is going out on loan. So what was the point of signing him in the summer? From all those summer signings, who's really come in and played? Which then begs the question of, who did he really want? I mean, who's come in and played consistently? Started every game when fit? You know, I feel like we're going round and round in circles. And this is why, and I know people will have a go at me. And, I'm too old in the tooth. I don't care about that. But when I've said publicly a lot of the times, I don't care if Conte's here or not. And everyone loses their mind and he's the best manager we've had and all this. But I don't see any difference now to where we've been before under these owners with Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte wants top, ready-made available players. And unfortunately, Spurs don't deliver that to any of their managers. We didn't give that to Jose. We didn't give it to Poch. Didn't give it to Yo or Redknapp or AVB. So for me, this is why, and I think people get it misconstrued. Do I like Antonio Conte's style of football? No, I don't. Do I care if he's here next season? No, I don't, because I don't see any different. I don't see what he's doing. I don't see a plan. I don't see a strategy. I've got no doubt that when this next window shuts, they'll have bought a couple of players in that are cheap, that will appease fans, that will tell fans, oh, look what we've gone and bought. But again, I bet you it doesn't address the problematic areas that we have within the team, notably right wing back, left wing back, centre back, creativity. I bet you it's going to be more central midfielders, more wide men, and it just doesn't feel like there's a plan. So tell me, what are your thoughts? I'm really calm about all this. You can see people, when I do videos like this, I get people going, oh, you're crying and you're in the mud. And I'm not crying. I'm not in the mud. I can't see what people think is different. And in my mind, and this is only my opinion, in my mind, I see that bringing Antonio Conte to the football club has kind of pulled the wool over people's eyes in terms of what's happening in the background of the football club. Antonio Conte is one man. I think lots of people assume that Antonio Conte comes in, we change our transfer strategy, we have a plan, we have a method, but we've not seen any of that, have we? And I don't think we'll continue to see that moving forward. And for me, unfortunately, I'm going to say it, I feel like this club, it needs a complete reset. For years now, it's just been a constant mishmash of managers, constant mishmash of styles, constant mishmash of transfer strategy, different directors of football, but the same types of players coming in, different managers, but the same players coming in. For me, I feel like the whole thing needs to restart. And whether that be with Kane, with Son, without them, I think we're at that stage now where it's become stale. We've become very predictable as a football club now that we rely on Kane and Son. Those two are getting older. Lloris is going to be on the move soon. We need a whole new back 4, 5. We need a new goalkeeper. We need some creativity. And I just can't see it all being built under an Antonio Conte. So for me, I think, and I'm not saying it's going to happen now or in the summer, but in the next few years, I think this whole thing needs to be removed. This whole thing needs to be ripped up. And a blueprint needs to be put in place. Our fans won't want that because they want success now. And look, I've been banging that drum for years and years that I want success now. It's been 22 years and I can wait now. I just don't think it will be under Conte, but at some point we need to put a blueprint in place where the youth teams play the same style as the first team, where the managers that come in play the same style as the manager before. I mean, you can tweak it, of course you can, but look what Brighton have just done. Potter going out, De Zerbi coming in, who plays a very similar style of football. And I feel that we need this at some point. We need some consistency at this football club. So all is not doom and gloom. And yes, some fans will point out that we're fourth because fourth is the holy grail now for some reason. But as I've said for years, and people never want to look this far ahead, I look at the future of this football club and I can't see where we're heading. I really can't see where we're heading. We're fourth because of Harry Kane's goals, not because of the way we play, not because of the style, not because of the transfer strategy. So for me, lots of concerns at the club. There has been for years, and I don't think that will change. And not even in an angry way now. Maybe, Enoch needs to move on so that we can allow that to happen. Look, I'll leave it there. I just wanted to give my 2 pence worth, just because I'm seeing all the rumours that you guys and girls are seeing in the press. This player, that player, lots of not nobodies, but lots of unknown players that that other clubs won't go for. Again, it always seems to be central midfielders and wingers that we seem to be linked with and not actually addressing areas. So look, let's see what the January transfer window holds. And I know some people will think this is negative. Some people I feel are toxic with their positivity. But one thing for sure, guys and girls, we all want what's best for the club. I just don't think this current process is the one. I really don't. I feel that the name Conte is overshadowing what's not happening in the background. So all in all, I'll leave it there. I will be back later on this week with some more content and some live shows. And we will be back for the Spurs review on Sunday. So apologies for missing it yesterday, but I was in hospital, so I wasn't able to get home in time to do the show. So I hope all is well. I hope everyone is enjoying the World Cup. Just witnessed a really good 3-3 game with Serbia and Cameroon. And now to watch Heung-min Son for South Korea versus Ghana. So have a good day, everyone. I'll speak to you in the YouTube comments. Much love. See you later. Bye-bye.